In this video, I will give you 10 general tips I wished I knew way earlier in this game. Those tips will not only improve your skills, but your net worth and your income by a lot. So let's get started right away.
Broken from the horse. What do we need the bourgeoisie for? 'Cause I can set my mind on fire. Yeah, I can set my mind on fire.
That first tip I'm gonna give you today has to do something about dungeons. Don't sell your Wither Essence too quickly, because there are some improvements in the upgrade shop that I would recommend you. For example, Forbidden Blessing can give a huge impact on your performance in dungeons, and Boss Luck can make the difference between getting and not getting a Necron handle. So you might want to save up until you got those improvements max and start selling your essence later. The next tip is a quick money making method if you probably already maxed out those improvements, because you can buy Infinity Boom, which will give you around 35 up to 50 million in the auction house. So if you play a lot of dungeons, and I mean a lot because this will probably take you around 250 runs to get those 50,000 undead essence, but if you play a lot, then this might be a good side money making method, which can give you once or twice in a month a cool 50 million extra boost for the last master star in your armor. The next tip is something more for beginners, because you should specialize in something. If you really enjoy mining, for example, invest in your talent. There's no point in buying something different before you got the absolute max equip for what you are doing right now. You can always change to something else, but if you are stuck in early or mid game, don't buy a mid-core fishing, mining and dungeon equip at the same time, because it will lead you to being not able to play the other profitable dungeon floors without being able to get a lot of money from mining on the other side. So you should max out one equip and one strategy and one skill, and then go to the next one. I'm not recommending you to get mining 60 and the best possible equip with 100 legendary Scarfer before you start playing your first dungeon, but you should at least have a decent equip and being in kind of end game in your skill, and then start investing in something new. If you want to try out, you can always try a bit out, but not invest the main money, like not more than 30% in something else. One of the most important tips for early game players is don't follow a trend or tip too fast without being 100% sure it works. I often see YouTuber promising 200 million with a very cheap equipment method, and it turns out that it's around 5 million each hour with a starter setup around 50 million and high skill requirement. That is not that bad, but it's definitely not 200 million per hour, and it's definitely not a very cheap equip either. What I'm trying to tell you is you shouldn't invest your entire money in something which perhaps doesn't work. If you want to try something new, then never start with more than 5 up to 10% of your account net worth. Another method you could choose, which also works very well, is never invest more than you could make back in a normal day of playing, or maybe half a day. So you can protect yourself from losing all your money to a not working method you saw on YouTube. The next tip will make a very big difference in your progress in the game. I would really recommend you to set your everyday a goal which can be hard to reach, but never too far away or impossible. For example, your personal goal might be to play floor 5 10 times today. and at the end of the day you can adjust your goal for the next day. Was it too easy? Try 50 runs tomorrow, or maybe try floor 6. Was it too hard? Try floor 4 or try only 5 runs. This will help your motivation a lot, and it will also stop you from getting stuck by ordering your chests or chatting with other randoms for too long. Believe me, it helped myself a lot when I did my 1000 floor 7 runs. I guess if I won't use this tip, then it would took me like a week instead of only one day. The next tip will be very important during the entire game, so even if you're pretty much endgame player, it can be important for you. Keep an eye on the other players. If one of your friends starts being invincible in dungeons, check his sky crypt. Of course you could just have IRL traded or scammed someone, but maybe he figured something out you didn't. And I would also really recommend you to subscribe to some good YouTubers of your choice, which constantly give you tips. Also do research if you have any questions, because knowledge is power. There is no point in leveling your combat in dungeons if there is a pearl spamming strategy which works 15 times better. Having the right informations can make your life a lot more easy and successful at the same time. Trying to figure something out by your own might be fun, but it's probably not effective. Think about a safe place for your coins. I'm talking about inflation. If you constantly buy new items and only have as many coins with you as you need for dungeons, you're alright. But if you're thinking to take a break from playing Skyblock, or maybe you are just very rich but not interested in buying new armor, even you already got everything in the game, then you should invest. For example, Dragon Pets went from 200 million up to currently 815 million. If you would have invested with 1 billion coins in Dragon Pets and stopped playing for 10 months ago, then you could earn over 4 billion now. This only makes sense if you have money you not really need and which won't be used for the next month, but at this moment, almost everything is better than having pure coins. The third of my best general Skyblock tips I'm gonna give you today is never underestimate the vibes. Especially in dungeons, there are some people with really toxic behavior, but still it is your choice if you also want to get toxic. Leave the party or just ignore them. It's always your choice, and you should never underestimate the power of being friendly, because you will eventually being added to the friend list of other friendly and good players, and it is way more fun to play with a friendly party. From my personal experience, I can confirm that playing in nice parties is not only much more fun, but you also get better results and in the end even more progress. The second tip probably won't be that helpful, but if it's helpful for you, it will make the biggest difference of all the tips you will have ever gotten in this game. Never ever trade something, especially without equivalent, you can't handle to lose. So if you only have a single weapon, just don't trade it to anyone. If you never trade, you basically cannot get scammed. And if you trade, always make sure you get profit if the other person tries to scam you. Accordingly, don't trade items you are not 100% sure about their worth. And also never ever share your account. It's the easiest way to lose much more than only your net worth. Guys, at this point I definitely have to add something. Someone offered a subscriber of mine to let him build a farm, and because my subscriber was brain AFK, he accepted the offer and added him to his corp. After I negotiated with him for more than 1.5 hours and carried him 1 hour straight to different dungeon floors and paid him additional 4 million coins, he actually left the island. This is the first time ever in my 2 years Skyblock that someone got actually his island back. Never ever add someone. I gonna upload a video soon how you should add a co-op mate, under which conditions. So if you don't want to miss how you can add a co-op mate safely, which will give you a higher chance of not getting scammed, then subscribe this channel. It will be uploaded next week. And the best tip out of my experience is always check the prices, especially on enchants. I guess all experienced players watching right now already figured out that Rejuvenate 5 isn't the same than 16 times a Rejuvenate 1 book. This not only opens up the chance to flip, but also possibilities to pair when buying armor or weapons. For example, a Master Star Giant Sword doesn't always conform with the worth of 4 Master Stars plus recom plus the other stuff on the Giant Sword. And especially on high level armor or high level weapons like the Hyperion, it can make a huge difference between buying a max enchant book and putting all the max enchants on the Hyperion by yourself, or just buying a already maxed out weapon in the auction house. You not always get the cheaper option if you pick to do everything yourself, and on the other side, it's not always the best option to buy a already maxed out sword. I hope I was able to help you and expand your knowledge about Skyblock. If you're particularly interested in a specific topic, write me a comment and I will work out a video on the topic. If you like the video, I would be really happy about a like and a subscription. I wish you all a nice day, good luck with your jobs, and bye.
The gals wind up